Well, welcome back to Life Journey Production Studios. This is Keith, and as you can see, I'm not in my normal set. I'm actually in my living room. Yep, this is just a short video to give everybody an update. It is March of 2025, March 18th. I'm normally live on Tuesdays. Tonight, we're going to have this video, and I'm going to tell the story of a little accident that I had. So let me just take you back in time. A little less than 3 weeks ago, I was live on Tuesday. That Thursday, I was called by my son in the morning saying, "Hey, Dad, can you come help me?" And I said yes. And he wanted me to watch my little beautiful granddaughter, Rhythm Melody Bennett. And so he was going to go to a meeting in Richland, Washington, which is the city we live in. It's on the other side of town from where I'm at. So I jumped in my SUV and I took off to go pick up my son and my granddaughter, took him and dropped him off after we got her in the car seat to where his meeting location was. And then I took Rhythm down to the park, and that's what this picture is. So as you can see, I'm having a great time with my granddaughter. I'm pushing her on the swing, and she was happy for a few minutes, but the swings were really high off the ground. And I have this song that I wrote for my son years ago. As I pushed him on the swing, it goes like this: higher, 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 higher. Push the baby higher, higher, or the name of my child, right? And then it goes lower, 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 lower. So as I started to sing this song and push Rhythm higher, she goes, "Papa, I don't want to go higher. I want to go lower." So it was quite funny. And so anyway, long story short, I was pushing her on the swing. And if you notice, right here is the river. I'll show you some other pictures here. So right over here in a few minutes is where the accident's going to take place. So let's just forward a slide here a bit. So let me adjust the size of this frame. And so you can see right here behind the trees is where we are singing and swinging. So we got off the swings. We walked over to my car, parked right about here to make sure it was locked. And then I wanted to take her down here where a lot of people park and hang out down here by the water. It's not as steep. It's a little bit more steep in this area. Here is another slide. So before I change slides, so I dropped my son off right in here. There's a building right in here that I dropped him off at. We drove down to this side of the park, and I parked right here, and we went to the swings that are behind these trees. And then we were going to walk down here to throw rocks in the water. And so we ended up coming down the hill, and you can see that the grass transitions to the gravel. And so as I was holding Rhythm's hand and getting ready to transition with her and I down to the gravel, I looked for a sunny spot, and that time of day there was sun right about here where we ended up coming down. I wanted to go down here, but Rhythm wasn't having anything to do with it, so we decided to go down here. She was wanting to run away from me and go do her own thing, so we ended up right down here, and here's another look at it. So basically, close up, further away, and I slipped and fell on that transition right here between the grass and here. There was some leaves, dry leaves. I stepped on the leaves after I got Rhythm down. Again, all this happened down here where you just see shadow, but let's pretend this is the same location. So I stepped her down, and then as I stepped down on some leaves right here, I slid and fell and landed on my ankle. So I got this break right here and this break right here. And the doctor at the hospital said that my break looked and x-rays looked worse than some of the sample breaks of the same kind that they had in a diagram book, so they could share with my wife what the repairs needed to be. So again, I got ambulance came down, so they had to lift me up off the grass right here. I was there for about 15 minutes. Didn't cry for help. There were people walking on the path, but it's really steep, so you couldn't really see the people until they got it right about here. But a lady looked down at me down here and she could tell that something was off. She walked away. A little while later, she came back and she asked me if I was okay. And I said, no, I broke my ankle. And so what did I do down there? I got my phone out. Um, I called my wife on the phone. She was coming back from a home visit. She's a midwife, so she's doing a home visit after a baby was born to check on the mother and check on the baby. And my daughter was with her. So I put my daughter on FaceTime with my granddaughter, who was really literally, I was here on the grass and she was about 5 feet away from me playing between me and the water. I was petrified, scared to death. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up to go help her. She wouldn't come to me. So I was really freaked out. So the lady kind of, about 5 minutes later, kept an eye on her. In the meantime, my daughter had been FaceTiming with her, and my granddaughter had her back to my daughter. So as Nicole talked with her, I was giving my wife directions of where I was so the paramedics could come get me. So the paramedics had to leave the stretcher up here, come down the hill and pick me up on like a tarp and pick me up and take me to the hospital. And the good news is they were able to pull right in here with the ambulance. They were able to get me up on a gurney, load me up right here. And then they took me to the hospital. And you can see the hospital's right here. I'm right down here in this parking lot. So here's the journey I had to take from right here in the picture all the way up to here. So it was a good thing that I was so close to the hospital. So can't complain about that. So they set my leg, put me on a pretty crazy drug when they set it called, I'll put it in the notes, the description below this video. So there I am. So then from there, I sat in that splint for about 6 days. The following Thursday, I got to go in and see Dr. Black, and that was closer to the hospital. This is where I went and had my surgery the following Friday. So it has been a little over a week and a couple days now since my surgery. Here is the break. So, and the repair done by Dr. Black. I'll show you a picture of him here in a minute, and I have a video in the link below. But here's the side of my ankle. You see I've got pins here. I got a big plate going right here. They've drilled through the bone, put the bone back together again. Here's the other side, so you can see how they rebuilt this little piece here so it holds your foot into place. So this piece that broke has been pinned by 2 pins. This bone has been re-strapped plate, and then all these screws. And then this screw holds the 2 bones together. You can see that screw. So again, the pins right here going in to hold this little piece on right here. This is holding the bone together. Here's that screw going through there. And then close up of the other side of my ankle. Here's the pin side by side, holding that bone together, that little knuckle right here that holds that foot. And so then this side will hold that bone together. And so it's going to be about 12 weeks, they said, for me to heal. So I'm so very thankful for the Cadillac Ambulatory Surgery Center, where they do orthopedic surgery and other surgeries there. I'm really thankful for Dr. Black. Here's his picture. And actually, there is a video link below in the description of this video. So check out his little bio as he shares his heart. He did an amazing job. I'm so very thankful. So if you're ever in the Tri-Cities or Richland area and you need help, orthopedic surgery, I would say Dr. Black is the guy that I would highly recommend. So, well, there you go. That is my story. Again, it's why I haven't been live for a while. It's why you haven't seen any videos. I am sitting here in my living room recovering. I'll give you guys a better view. Let's take the camera on a little journey here. We can get it to move. I've got my little table set up right here. And got my laptop here. So I'm sitting here in my living room. There's the view out the window. I'm using my Insta360 Link camera. Sorry that it is not perfectly set up. So, and bring it back around. So you guys are only seeing me. There we go. So thanks for tuning in. Sorry that I'm not live tonight, but I hope you guys enjoyed this little behind the scenes story. I'm healing up really well. Again, I'm thankful for Cadillac Hospital emergency room staff and the nurses and the doctors there, for the orthopedic surgery location on the other side of the Columbia River and down the highway, and Dr. Black and the job that he did, for my lovely wife Shannon, who's been taking really good care of me. All the kind words that many of you have said and shared here on the channel. I will be back live as soon as I possibly can. Can't work in the studio right now. I'm going to see the doctor a week from this Tuesday. So today is the 18th. So in another 7 days, that will be the 25th. I will be in to see the Dr. Black again, and then we'll see how the next 4 weeks of my first 6 weeks recovery goes. After the first 6 weeks are done, I'm supposed to be able to change into a boot and start putting pressure on it, take the boot off, and draw the alphabet with my foot and start my recovery. So I hope you'll be patient with me. Hope you'll continue to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your kindness and your patience, and we'll see you here again on the channel really, really soon. Till then, stay safe.